Welcome to Behind the Bid. My name is Emily Einechner. Today we are here at Benno's Genuine Bar and Grill, and I'm here with owner Marty Weigel. Marty, how are you doing?
Hi, Emily. I'm doing very well today. How are you?
I'm good. So you guys have been on the street since 1989.
89, yeah.
But you've always been in West Allis. Where did you actually start?
So my brother and my mom and I, in 1980, bought the old Horvaths, which had deep roots in West Allis. That was on 73rd and National. We opened up in 1980, and we were there till 1989. And we moved over here to Greenfield Avenue, 7413 West Greenfield. It was the old Ghost Riders. It was another bar and restaurant. And so we moved the business over here.
And you also have ties with the Fair Park as well. So your brother took over the Fair Park and you are here. However, do you go over there to help him out?
Yeah, well, the Fair Park business, we started vending at the fair in like 1982. And both the businesses grew together. And then in, I want to say it was 1991, we split the business. My brother kept the fair, and it evolved into what's called the Micro, and he's got a couple other stands there too. And my wife Susie and I have been running the bar and restaurant Benno's together ever since.
And Benno's is known for their craft beer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you have 40 different craft beers on tap.
Well, we sell 40 different drafts. Right now we've had Sprecher root beer on tap too, and Miller Lite. But yeah, we were on the kind of the leading edge of the craft beer scene here in Milwaukee. Randy Sprecher used to deliver kegs himself. One of our old bartenders is the brewer at Lakefront currently. So our roots in the craft beer business go back to the beginnings.
And it even goes back all the way that you were actually on a television show, and you were the beer man.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Back around the turn of the century, I tell people, there was a local restaurant review show called Always in Good Taste. It ran on Sunday mornings after, I think, Belling and Company. And I did it was Hey Beer Man. I did a craft beer segment every week. That was a lot of fun. It was very good, interesting, you know.
Do people still recognize you as the beer man?
Well, I wear a bunch of different hats, you know. Obviously, 37 years in the business here. Once in a while, I still get somebody coming, "Hey, beer man," because the tagline was, "It's a great time to be drinking beer." So once in a while, somebody still shout, "Hey, it's a great time to be drinking beer," you know. So, but yeah, so that's still the power of the TV thing was very strong. I didn't realize when I signed up to do it how big that was going to be. So.
Well, speaking of drinking beer, we have one of your flights behind us. So can you tell us a little bit about what we got?
So the flight, for people who don't know, it kind of evolved out of wine flights. The idea is that people would want to be able to try more than one, maybe 5 or 6 different beers without buying a pint of each. You know, wines obviously do get a couple ounces. In beers, we do 5-ounce pours. So we've got a mixture of beers here. We've got a white IPA, a raspberry tart, a regular IPA, a stout, and again, it's a way for the customer to try, you know, 4 or 5 different kinds of beers, and it's not new, but it's just one of those evolving things that has kind of caught on in the last couple of years.
And you really have evolved it. You have something called the BFF. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Always being in this position, you want to do something that people can't get just anywhere else. We took the 4 or 6 flight to an extreme. So we have 40 beers on tap. So my son and I made some custom flights that hold 40 beers. So it's 40 5-ounce pours. We call it the BFF, the Benno's 40 flight. That's what it is. And it's a lot of beer. So you need a group of 4 at least to get that. But and it's a lot of fun for small groups or even medium-sized groups.
Do you recommend somebody like calling ahead of time saying they want to do it, or can somebody walk in with their friends?
It hasn't been a problem so far. So reservations really aren't required. We have 3 sets of BFF frames. Yeah. So and it hasn't been a problem so far. I think we've done 2. We've had 2 going at one time so far. But it's really part of the idea that beer drinking has become a lot more fun for people, more varied. Mm-hmm. You know. The time was 30 years ago, if somebody was a beer drinker, they drank a beer, you know, whether it was Pabst or Guinness or whatever. And people now tend to stick to a style, or even they might have a favorite brewery. But even though people will go outside of their favorite beer or their favorite style just to see the seasonal changes, you know, or what's hot. You know.
And so when you get new beers, about every month or every other month, you do tap takeovers.
Well, we actually, our tap list changes just about every other day. Something rotates in and out. We have very few permanent lines, Packer Shore Weiss, River West Stein, Sprecher Black Bavarian, some of the classics we keep on all the time. But yeah, we do and again, there are events we call them tap takeovers. And a tap takeover really comes from the idea that a bar would put on nothing but beers from one brewery. Well, with 40 lines, we don't do. No one really has 40 beers that they can come and say, "I'll take all 40 of your beers," you know. So, but yeah, our most recent tap takeover is Third Space. We did 8 of their beers. The brewers usually save something for us, a custom barrel-aged something, barley wine, or their new releases. We usually also have a brewer or a principal from the brewery come in and talk about their products with their customers. So it makes it kind of a special event.
So how do you decide which beers to put on tap?
Well, you know, Emily, sometimes it's a real easy decision, and sometimes it's not that easy. We have some classic beers, got some favorite brewers. Obviously, we have some hometown favorites, Sprecher, Lakefront. We always have a couple from them. There's trending styles, IPA right now, West Coast IPAs. Always have some stouts, barrel aged. Of course, we have a brewery right here in West Allis now with Stallion Brewing. So we always have a couple from him right now. I think we're pouring his Weiss beer and his peanut butter porter, which is probably one of the more interesting beers that you'll see around here. But yeah, there's a certain art to it. You know, you want to have a well-curated draft list, not 6 of these, 6 of those, 6 of those, 3 different lights. You know, there's a seasonality to it. Springtime, obviously, box and double box. Winter, heavier, maltier beers. Summer, lighter, Weiss beers, Kolsch's, that kind of stuff.
So in addition to the beer, you also have great food here at Benno's. And something you brought back recently was your Taco Tuesdays. So what's involved with your Taco Tuesday?
Well, again, we started in 1980, and if you picture what the bar scene was like in 1980, we back then came out and we did lunch. We were open 7 days a week, and we did this super taco. It was big, huge burrito, and that we were kind of the front of that. And now it's a very common thing, Taco Tuesday. We still have the regular tacos on our menu, but we just brought back street tacos on Tuesdays. And the street taco is a smaller thing, a little more crafty, we'll say. You know, we do shrimp, chicken, and beef. And the idea is that it's not just a big giant something for $6. You know, it's a little more specialized. So.
You can get a little variety with your different tacos. Yep. What would you say is one of your most popular food items?
Well, you know, Friday Fish Fry has been a classic in West Allis. And it kind of goes, it's maybe not as strong as it used to be. I think culturally, Milwaukeeans it's less of a mandatory thing where everybody goes every Friday and gets a fish fry. And that's a good thing, because then people can try something else. Fish fry is still very strong. We do a burger, you know, we do a Build-A-Burger. We hand form our patties. Burgers have always been big, but yeah, that's probably our big sellers, is the burger.
So in addition to being the owner of Benno's, you also are one of our aldermen in the city. So how does being an alderman also affect your job as business owner?
It's really interesting because they are kind of closely intertwined. My wife and I, how I came to be on the council, my wife and I were both very active volunteers in the schools when our kids were little. And one of the then aldermen knew he wasn't going to be on the council anymore because he was moving on to being a judge, and he suggested I consider it, and I never would have thought I was going to be on the city council, and this is 15 years ago, but it's been very, very interesting. I've always liked to volunteer on different levels, and I'm not that being an alderman is volunteer, you know, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a job, but it's really nice to be able to give back to the city that's given me so much. I met my wife here. I've had a successful business here, raised 4 children here, but as alderman, I do sit on the License and Health Committee, and it's very interesting the expectations that some people have of the business, or I'll say their lack of knowledge of the business when they want to open up, or even some of our longtime businesses, some of the things that go on in the community.
And so you're involved in a la carte, you're involved with the Bike Federation, you're involved all over the city. So what do you got coming up next? Well,
you know, you talk about a la carte, being a business here in downtown West Allis, I think West Allis has been, like I said, I'm grateful for what I've been able to get from the city. I think West Allis, down Greenfield Avenue, is a perfect location. I have customers who come from Waukesha. I have customers who come from Mequon. I have customers who come from Franklin. You know, our access here, you know, there's always something going on. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
Wooden wings, a la carte, the car show, all things that I'm able to be a part of because of where we are here in Greenfield Avenue.
So if somebody wants to stop in and try a new craft beer or try a Benno burger, where can they get a hold of you?
Well, we are right here, 7413 West Greenfield Avenue in downtown West Allis. We're a half a block from City Hall, kind of across the street from the post office. We're open 6 days a week. We're closed Sundays. We're closed holidays. We open at 4 p.m. And you can find us online. Our website is bennosbar.com, and we have a big Facebook presence.
Well, thank you, Marty, for taking the time to sit with us today on Behind the Bid. Again, my name is Emily Einechner. We are at Benno's Genuine Bar and Grill, and I'll see you next time on Behind the Bid.